right, guys, we got a interesting one today. This one is titled Trying to Get a Job in 2026 is a Humiliation Ritual. Let's check this one out.
Job searching in 2026 has effectively become a humiliation ritual. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Jet. I'm currently a senior in college on my last semester before I graduate, so I'm in the prime pool of people that would be looking for a job. All of my peers, people that I grew up with, are also in the same boat as me, and we have talked extensively about this idea. Did you know that the average person nowadays has to send 1,200, you didn't mishear me, 1,200 job applications before they land a job? The average 40 years ago was 3. The economy is going to shit, and we all intuitively feel this, and it's been going this way for quite some time.
Yeah, man. I mean, I think about Taco Bell. Taco Bell comes to mind when I say this because the other day, and keep in mind, I haven't eaten Taco Bell in a long time, guys. Okay. But I said, you know what? I was by 7-Eleven. I was getting off of work and I said, let me go stop by here. So I go by, I said, I just wanted, 3 or 4 tacos, right? Regular tacos, crunchy tacos. Went in there, went through the drive through, and I was looking at the prices and I looked and one taco was $1.99. And I said, what? Has it really been that long? I remember when they had the 59-cent to 69-cent tacos, right? And back in the day, right? And I just like $2 for one single taco. With tax is like $2.14 for one. So I'm paying almost $5 for 2 tacos, just 2. And these aren't big tacos. These aren't, meaty tacos, none of that, right? That's just one sign that I was like, wow, this shit is crazy. When you go to, it's crazy, guys. Fast food is crazy. Just everywhere you go is crazy, man.
The funniest part about it, right, is that you send in these resumes nowadays, and humans don't even look over the resumes. Instead, it's some sort of AI that's looking for keywords, right? And so to combat this, what people do is they use AI to create their own resume because they want, for whatever specific industry they're going into, they want AI to make sure that the correct trigger words are on there. So in other words, if you can't seduce an AI, then you're not getting a job, right? And so now we have AI talking to other AI. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to late stage capitalism. I mean, it's just ridiculous, is it not? It's comical. I would love to laugh about it, but I'm in the shit right now, right? Like, it's so ridiculous. And every part of the process is completely in favor of these corporations because some of them will try to detect if you used AI on your resume, and then they'll say, well, listen, we used AI to look over your resume, but the fact that you used AI on your resume, that's a no-no. And so you're no longer an applicant anymore. Let's talk about ghost jobs for a second here too. I'm just going to be all over the place in this video, but just bear with me here. There are literally fake jobs that companies will put out there so that they seem more desirable and like they're hiring. And it's so disrespectful. And to do that from the position of power, like the corporations have the power, is beyond me. It's so ridiculous. One of my good friends, he's 2 years older than me. But he graduated last year. So it's been a little over a year in the job market, a year and a half. And this is legitimately the individual with the most agency out of anyone that I know. So like, he's very proactive. He constantly like takes control of his own life, right? And he has KPIs that he does every day. So he has to submit a minimum of 4 applications every single day. He's never missed a day, and he like does, among many other things that he does. But smart guy. He's nothing over the top. He's nothing like, he's no crazy good candidate, but he's bare minimum average, maybe a little bit above average, and then he works really hard. So shouldn't a guy like that, the average guy, be rewarded with, a decent job? Is that too much to ask for? Yeah, apparently it is.
Uh, It's I tell people this all the time, man. College now, you got to do a double take when you think about college, because now all you get is a huge debt, and you can't even get a job in the field you went to school for, guys. It's a joke. It's been a joke for quite some time. And if you're not in significant parts of these sectors, right? Medical, maybe, um, you're gonna get finessed out here. Uh, Look, America has been finessing people for hundreds of years, guys, and college is no different. It's one of their biggest finesses of all. You go to college, you sign up with Sally Mae, you get these loans. Say you go to college, you want to go to take a class. Say something in your life blows up, right? 6 weeks in, your life blows up. And guess what? You have to get out. Guess what happens? You're still on the hook for all of those thousands of dollars, that 80 grand, 90 grand. You're still on the hook for that, even though you only did 6 weeks. Because once you sign that contract, once you sign that signature, you're basically done. They don't care. And also keep this in mind. Loans are one of the only things you can't get out of when you file for bankruptcy. So by design, guys, this is their plan, a huge part of what they do to finesse the American people. That's what it is. That's what these institutions are doing. Why does it cost so much to go to college? Why? Why? If you want, especially if you want to go to a prominent university, why does it cost so much? It shouldn't cost that much, guys. They should be trying to educate everybody and anybody who is willing to go and learn something. But that's not how it works.
And in about 4 to 5 years, I'm going to say, not even it. I don't know if you guys have seen Claudebot. It's getting pretty scary, but AI will take over. And the only reason that AI hasn't already taken over is because they don't understand how to manage the liability of AI. So AI, like I just mentioned, Claudebot, it's just a virtual assistant. It can pretty much do anything for you. I'm considering actually buying it myself to try to help me with trying to make money online. But essentially, it can do the majority of basic jobs, and then, like, let's see, it's advancing at a faster rate than ever before. So in 1 year from now, AI could potentially do 90% of desk jobs, like jobs that are done on a computer. And at that point, the only thing that's stopping the implementation of this is liability. How do these companies control, like, who do they blame? Because if a doctor has malpractice, then they're like, hey, like, you're getting in trouble for that. Or like if a member of a hedge fund is, fucking up, like, they have like tracking abilities on this, and so that person could be punished. With AI, it's like, oh, this went wrong, like, who do we fire? Who do we hold accountable? There really isn't one. And for a lot of larger companies that are handling a lot more critical information, such as people's, like, money, their financial, like how they're getting paid through their bank account, whatever, like, you're sitting at very high risk situations. And oh my gosh, don't even get me started on LinkedIn. So LinkedIn is the fakest place on earth. Everybody, it actually seems like people are selling their soul on LinkedIn. Like, no bullshit. The posts from people that I grew up with, like friends of mine, it like it I'm not trying to judge, but it's like, oh my gosh, everybody's a pussy. But at the same time, I don't even blame them. I do not blame them, because they need a job, but it seems like they're selling their soul just to get a job that they don't even want, and that will be taken over in 4 to 5 years' time.
Yeah, that's sad. It's crazy. And you know, I don't even know what else to do, man, or say, except for you have to, in today's society, in today's age, I would teach my kids more so to be their own entities, develop their own brand, focus on it. Even if you do want to pursue something else, okay, fine, do that. But at the same time, have a layered plan, have a backup plan, have something else you're working on behind the scenes, so that when they decide to take Social Security from you guys, and or even before you guys, the generation before you guys, you can see it coming, or you can at least weather the storm, right? Invest your money, do these type of things so that you're not one of the ants who are getting stepped on, right? Because that's what it's looking like. right? The middle class is dying. They're trying to stomp out the middle class until they're just the rich and the poor and nothing in between, guys. And the signs have been there for years. They have. They've been there for years, but they've sold you a dream. They sold a lot of us a dream. We grew up thinking that, yo, go to school, graduate high school, get into a good college, get you a house with the, wife and the dog and the backyard. Those things are unattainable now. Those things that were so attainable at one point, they're impossible now, right? Inflation has killed all of those dreams. And if you choose to go to college, you're basically choosing to go into debt and most likely never work in that field. Okay? Because you're in competition with AI now. You're in competition with other people who, like he just said, are selling their souls just to lick the boots of an entry level position. These are things that are going on right now that a lot of people aren't talking about. And if you're not paying attention to it, guys, right now, this is going to be your detriment.
It is a joke. It's a joke. For those who don't know me, and maybe you just clicked on this video because you saw the title and you related, I do social media. I just started in October of this past year, so it's been like 6 months, right? Or like 5 months, okay? I now have a greater asset in my social media following. I have like around 300K on Instagram and like 550K on TikTok. I have a greater asset in my social media following. By the way, I seriously don't mean that. I'm not saying that to brag or be cocky at all. I'm just saying that for example here. It's a greater asset to me than my degree will be when I graduate at the end of the semester.
Facts.
It legitimately is, which is why I just told you guys I'm trying to do Claude Block, because I want to I want it to show me how I can make money online, because right now I'm making no money at all besides like what I get paid for views. And anybody that knows like TikTok, it is like terrible.
Right.
I've gotten like over 300 million views on TikTok, and I haven't even been paid like $1,000 or something. 300 million views, guys. It might actually be more than that. Actually, it could potentially be a lot more than that. But like, it's just so bad. Instagram, I get paid no money from. Like, you don't get paid for views at all. At least maybe you could, but I don't. I'm getting too sidetracked right now. What I want to say is that it almost seems like you could be working your butt off in college, or maybe you already have a job, but it's entry level and you're trying to work your way up. But it's, what are we doing it for? Because we're just going to get replaced by AI, and these companies, these corporations. I don't need to convince you. You guys know they don't care about you. They don't.
Facts.
This is all you are to them. You're an asset. You make them money. The average employee makes a company 4 times what their salary is. That is a fact. So
it's all a game, and most of us are just, gerbils on that wheel. I mean, that's just what it is. Until you can open your eyes and actually see, until you step outside of yourself, get out of that matrix for a few seconds, and really look around, spin the block, and you can see what's really happening, guys. And try to do something about it before it's too late for yourself, right? Before you become one of these guys begging and pillaging just to get a slice of bread out here, right? That's the whole reason I started a YouTube channel. I got multiple channels actually that I've started, and for me, I look at it like a retirement plan. It's something that, I look at it as a marathon, not a race. I'm not out here trying to, go viral and do all these things. These are things this is just a cup that I'm pouring into, guys, for the future, so that if they decide to take Social Security from us in my generation, because I wouldn't be surprised if they did, then, I would have other means. You just have to think this way. And for those who aren't thinking this way, God bless you, because I don't know what else to tell you. You have to have a plan. You have to have something, right? And it's kind of like, if you can't beat it, join it. That's how I look at it. You're not gonna stomp out AI. You're not gonna stomp out, how social media is going now. So you can either learn how to deal with it and learn how to get your slice out of it, or you can starve. And that's basically what I'm doing. I'm just out here, finding the things that I like to do and trying to monetize them. That's it. I mean, it's that simple, and it's as simple as I can explain it. And you gotta have to do something, because the work is not enough. These jobs aren't paying enough, guys. Prices are going up. The job payments, they're staying the same. And then also on top of that, it's not promised. Your job is not promised. Even these platforms, YouTube and all these other things, like he just said, TikTok, that is not promised, right? They're not paying you shit. They used to pay pretty good from what I heard, but then American company bought them, and then as you see the results, right? They're basically fucking everybody. So, and I've heard of people getting demonetized channels on YouTube and all these things. So you have to really think about all of that, and you have to make plans according to that. You know, if you're going to do YouTube and you're going to do these other things and these other platforms, have something, you know, off the reservation that people can go to support you, right? When you're growing a brand, when you're growing a community, and that's the important thing here. And there's more to it. I could talk about this for an hour, but I'm not. Let's get back to this video.
It's a humiliation ritual, guys. For the first time ever, the average age of a new hire is 43 years old. That's the highest it's ever been in American history, I believe, if I'm not wrong. Do you know how like messed up that is? Shouldn't it be your like college students? People aren't going to be able to retire. And with inflation, you work really hard right now. You get paid, let's say you get paid $30 an hour. Well, $30 an hour in 20 years from now is going to be worth the equivalent of maybe $10 an hour. And then in another 20 to 30 years, when you would retire, it's going to be worth like a few dollars. So when they promote you, it's not even them promoting you. It's just saying, well, so inflation increased by like 7% and your promotion is going to give you an extra 2-3%. So you're going to be happy, right? No, you're actually like not even leveling out with the market, with the value of the dollar.
And that's why investing is so important and so prevalent. The banks have been doing it for years, guys. They have been. When you go to a bank and you put your money into a bank account, guys, they're taking 90% of that money and they're investing it for themselves. They are. If something catastrophic happens and the banks shut down and you try to say, you know what, I'm going to my bank and I'm taking my money out, they're only obligated to give you 10%. It's in the contracts. It's in the stuff that you sign when you open your bank account. They call them IOUs. Yes, we will eventually pay you back everything we owe you, but we're not obligated to pay you everything now because we're in a crisis. So that's what this is. If you don't learn about investing, if you don't know how to invest, you need to learn and get on that, because that's the only way you're going to stomp out inflation, or at least keep up, right? It is. It's the only way. If you're not investing your money, guys, then you're not doing it right.
It's such a joke. I'm saying this stuff out loud and I'm like, is this even real? I can't believe this is real. It's ridiculous not to believe that AI can't take your job. I know a lot of people like hate AI and all this stuff. But you have to like live in the real world and try to plan accordingly to like what's going on. Like, this is game theory optimal, right? Like, you got to figure out the game and then like try to position yourself in the best spot. So Naval Ravikant, he says that the future it's all going to be about creation. So you need to create something. It doesn't need to be content creation like what I'm doing right now, but you have to create a business. You need to create a skill set that's going to be valuable for something, because AI is going to be able to automate most things. Yeah. It's your best bet to plan accordingly. And I feel like it's a better use of my time to try to figure out how these AI systems work. And I'm not talking ChatGPT that's going to help me complete my homework, or for the people that are already working, write a email to one of your coworkers. I'm talking about like the actual beauty of AI, which is that it can write code. So as long as you can speak English, you can now create software. And whether that's an app or whether that's a website or whether that's just like a service in general, if you can create something good enough, then you can be your own boss. And there's talks in the air of what is referred to as universal base income. If you're unfamiliar, let's say that AI comes in and it takes all desk jobs. So now unemployment is 50%. Then Elon Musk is saying in 7 years' time, we'll have robots that can be mass produced that will take over most labor intensive jobs. So now we're looking at unemployment in the 90s, potentially more. I've heard experts say 98, 99%. if you can't find a way to to get into the class of elites, which most people can't, me and you, let's be real, most likely won't, then you're just it's just going to be a two faction system like in the movies. You used to have the upper class, the middle class, the lower class, right? Or I like to call it the working class in the middle. Now you have the upper class, which owns like 30 to 40% of the wealth, and it's 0.01%. There is no middle class. The working class is just like the bottom, like 99%. Because let's say you're a lawyer. At this point, I'm just rambling about the economy and not even just the job market. But let's say you're a lawyer. You are still putting in 60 hours a week, which is the same as the single mom that works at Amazon for also 60 hours a week to just try to support. And so don't get me wrong, the lawyer's going to make a lot more money, but you have to look at things in terms of how much effort and time are you putting into this stuff. It's ridiculous. For those who don't know, the ancient Romans and the ancient Greeks, they have words for it. One's like odium. Odium, that's what the word is. OTIMU, I think. Or IUM, whatever it is, okay? It basically means like leisure time, but not in like a you're lazy way. It's more in like you're going to do fruitful things like connect with your community, read, write, philosophy, whatever it is, okay? So back in the day, you were rich the less that you worked. That was the signal. And so the Romans and the Greeks both believed very much that your life is not about, just like working. So I've made another video on my channel where I say only a slave quantifies its existence through productivity. We've created a hustle culture where people are just like willing to do anything. And it's like they're straight up just like being slaves to these corporations. The entire job application process is you kissing ass until you could get there.
Yeah.
I made a video recently where I said my problem is the corporate world requires a certain level of ass kissing, a certain level of suck uppery that I simply wasn't born with.
A lot of people aren't. A lot of people can't act that well. And that's my issue. There's no way I could be that because I'm not a good actor. I couldn't to suppress all that, right? And it is what it is. But yeah, I mean, I said it early in the video. You have to find your slice, right? And social media is definitely a big part of that. And if you're not learning how to use it or use these platforms, then it's going to be a long, hard road for you. It's going to be a lot of working, and it is what it is. Now, when you're young, doing a little work is never a bad thing. I would even say it's even good for you sometimes. But, when you start growing gray hairs and things of that nature, guys, it's time to start looking around and asking yourself some questions, right? Do you want to be one of those guys? I remember there was this older guy. I used to work at a warehouse years ago, and it's always stuck with me. It's never left me. But it was the end of a shift. We were going in the bathroom. Everybody was washing their hands, washing up to leave for the day. And he was almost 60. I think he was like 57 years old at the time. And he was staring in the mirror. And I don't think he was just in his own because I don't think he was paying attention who was watching him. But I was in a couple sinks over. And, I was just washing my hands, but I was cognizant of what was going on around me at that time for whatever reason. And he looked at himself in the mirror and he basically had this look on his face and he said these words, and it kind of it's stuck with me all the way to this day. And he said, "There's got to be a better way." And it kind of, I felt bad. I felt crushed for him, right? Because I knew he didn't want to be there. I knew he had no other choice, but he had to be there. And, he didn't want to die as a warehouse employee, and it was, I remember it was the summertime. It was hot. That the warehouse had no AC. So everybody, was sweating in there. It was crazy. And I never forgot that, man. And I told myself, I said, yo, I will never, ever, ever be that guy. I'll do whatever I have to do not to be that guy. And so, you just got to think outside the box. And thinking outside the box, sometimes people don't have the energy to do it because they think that it can't be done, it can't be attained, it can't, whatever, right? I said, I'm going to start a YouTube channel and I'm going to talk my shit and I'm going to walk my walk, and I'm monetized now, right? And that's just the beginning, right? So I plan on taking this channel and moving it forward and investing, feeding that plant, watching it grow. And I have some other things that I like. There's other hobbies and things that I'm interested in. And I've said, you know what? I'm going to make channels dedicated to those things. And when the time permits itself, guess what? I'm going to pour into those as well. So at the end of the day, I may have 3, 4, 5 channels that I'm pouring into. And guess what? My goal is that is my job. Eventually I get to the point where all I do is work from home and I deal with YouTube and I have these communities and, and that's it. A lot of people are successful at doing that. And why not you? Why can't you be one of those people? It may not even have to be YouTube. It could be something else, but it can be whatever you want it to be if you choose to do so. And that's the message I have here. The job market is trash. It's not going to get any better. I don't see it happening, especially with AI out here, guys. And with that being said, I'm just going to end this video here, man. I hope that if you are out there struggling, if you are out there and you have thoughts and you're wondering, what your next move is, I hope that you find your way. I truly do. And, give it a gander, man. Give it a thought. Play with some ideas. And if you can't beat AI, join AI. Boot up that Gemini app on your phone. Ask it some questions. And you'll be surprised on what answers it gives you sometimes. And work from there. But I'm going to get out of here, guys. I love you guys dearly. Everybody who subscribed to the channel, thank you very much. If you are new to this channel and like the content, please consider subscribing to this channel because I drop content every single day. And with that being said, guys, I will see you all in the next video.